When did you realize you were stronger than your past? I hadn't spoken to my mom in 6 years. People always ask why, and I never know how to explain it without sounding dramatic. But the truth is, my childhood was just a constant loop of screaming matches, slammed doors, and getting punished for stuff I didn't even do. My mom controlled everything. What I wore, who I talked to at school, what time I went to bed even when I was 16. The worst part wasn't even the rules though. It was how she made me feel like I deserved all of it, like I was the problem. At 18, I packed a trash bag full of clothes and left. No big speech, no goodbye letter. I just walked out one Tuesday morning while she was at work. I crashed on my friend Becca's couch for 3 months while working at this donut shop downtown. The pay was garbage, and I smelled like grease every single day, but it was mine. Every time I burned a batch of bagels or dropped someone's change, I'd hear my mom's voice in my head saying, "You ruin everything you touch." But I kept showing up anyway. After a few months, my manager Kevin noticed I was always on time and offered me more hours. Then he made me a shift lead. I saved up enough to rent this tiny studio apartment with a bathroom so small you could sit on the toilet and wash your hands at the same time. All my furniture came from Facebook Marketplace and the curb. My couch had a stain that looked like Ohio. I didn't care. It was mine. I signed up for night classes at community college. Didn't tell anyone because part of me still thought I'd fail and prove my mom right. I studied at the donut shop during slow hours. Took notes on napkins sometimes. It took me 4 years to get my associate's degree, then 2 more to finish my bachelor's in social work. The day I graduated, I sat in my car in the parking lot and cried for 20 minutes. Not sad crying, just crying. I got hired as a case manager for foster teens at this nonprofit downtown. The office was depressing with fluorescent lights that buzzed and carpet that smelled like old coffee, but the work felt important. Most days I was drowning in paperwork and phone calls, trying to find placements for kids who kept getting shuffled around. Some days I wondered if I was even helping. Then one afternoon in November, this 14-year-old girl named Daisy came into my office. She wasn't on my schedule. Her foster mom had dropped her off early and left. Daisy sat down in the chair across from my desk and just started crying. Not dramatic sobbing, just quiet tears running down her face while she stared at her shoes. I grabbed the tissue box and waited. She finally said her foster mom screamed at her that morning for eating leftover pizza from the fridge, called her selfish and ungrateful, said she didn't deserve to live there if she couldn't follow simple rules. Daisy kept apologizing to me like it was her fault for being upset. I completely froze. Not because I didn't know what to say. I've been trained for this, but because I was looking at myself 15 years ago. Same exact situation. I got screamed at once for eating a granola bar my mom was apparently saving. She made me stand in the corner for an hour. Daisy looked up at me and said, "Sorry, I'm being dramatic. It's not a big deal." And something just clicked in my brain. I leaned forward and said, "It is a big deal. You're allowed to eat food in your own home. You're allowed to be upset. None of this is your fault." She stared at me like I'd just spoken another language. Then she asked, "Did your parents ever do that to you?" I could have lied, kept it professional, but instead I told her the truth. I said my mom used to scream at me for breathing too loud, for existing in a way that annoyed her, that I left home with nothing and spent years thinking I was broken. Daisy asked what changed. I told her I realized my mom was wrong, that I wasn't the problem, that I did everything she said I couldn't do. I got out, I went to school, I built a life, and now I help kids like her so they don't have to feel as alone as I did. She wiped her face and nodded, didn't say anything else, just nodded. We sat there for a few minutes in silence before her caseworker came to pick her up. As she walked out, she turned around and said, "Thanks for not lying to me."